We welcome you to the BetMGM studio with Amy Wells. I'm Mike Keith.
On this edition of Titans All Access, a big-time sit-down with Big Jeff, Jeffrey Simmons. As the Link to Service weekend that produced two special stories, and we cannot wait to share them. We head to the Titans radio booth to get Coach Mac's wisdom in beneath the surface. We've got an update on the new Nissan Stadium. And of course, we've got a chat with the head coach.
That is Brian Callahan, and the segment is Callys Corner. It's presented by SeatGeek.
Coach Callahan, you wanted to see Will Levis make progress from the Chargers game to the Vikings game. As the guy who runs this team's offense, Brian Callahan, did you see that progress that you were looking for?
I did. I thought it was a step in the right direction from the week before, and that's what I was hoping to see. Really difficult defense to play against schematically. A lot of different things they do that are challenging for the quarterback, a lot of answers you have to have, and I thought Will executed that plan really well and made some high-level throws in the process. I thought it was a really strong step in his progression, and I was really pleased with it.
Is it crazy to think that once Will has hit a couple of the long passes and he hit the 41-yarder at Los Angeles, he hit the 98-yarder, he had a 51-yarder that didn't count, but it was still a beautiful play and a great throw. Do you almost get like a three-point shooter who gains confidence and feels like he's going to knock it down every time if you're a quarterback that way? Yeah,
there's a confidence element to it, and letting the ball go on time, knowing that you see the right look in the coverage for it. That's what was so cool about the long play is that, you know, Will saw exactly what was happening. He knew that the ball was going to go there. He threw it on time. He threw it accurately, threw it with some conviction. You know, that's half the battle sometimes on some of the balls down the field is you have to throw it with the conviction that it's going to hit, and then he did a good job of that. Same thing with the ball to Calvin that got called back. That was still the same idea, just really sure about what he saw and what it looked like and where he put the ball. It was just really well done. And any time that you hit one or two of those, you start to feel it a little bit. Your confidence grows. Your aggressiveness to take those grows. And then it gives me confidence to keep calling them.
What were some things you liked and some things you didn't like about the way the secondary played against Minnesota?
I thought they did a really nice job against a very talented group of receivers between Hawkinson and Addison, and then obviously Justin Jefferson's arguably the best player at the position. And I thought Jarvis battled. He was in position. It's got a couple of flags in the back end, a little grabby at the top of routes that, we'd like to get eliminated. But, man, I thought they did a pretty dang good job of keeping that offense in check and making some plays on the ball and in some one-on-one coverage situations. They didn't get going anything crazy in that receiver room, which is a good room. And I do think Daryl Baker's done a really nice job stepping in for us. I mean, just to come in at the end of training camp and have the impact he's had and played as much as he's played it's been pretty good to see him perform at the level he's performed at.
When Jack Gibbons was injured, Jerome Baker stepped in and he made 8 tackles against the Vikings. How do you think Baker played?
I thought he did a nice job. You can tell he's played a lot of football, played a lot of snaps at linebacker over his career so far, and that showed up, just to be able to step in that role and settle it down and play with some consistency and make sure that we didn't have any major glaring issues or errors, and I thought he did a really nice job. And on top of that, that's a very communicative spot on the defense, and, for him to step in and do that was impressive, and I thought he played well.
Do you start off your preparation with a thought towards what you'll do at right tackle for the Houston game?
Leroy was hurt, so that's why he was out. He didn't practice all week, and it's the same guys, and we got to find guys that we can find some consistency with. So it'll be the same group, and hopefully we can improve some of the things we need to improve on technically, and then they're gonna have to go win some matchups. Obviously, playing a good front again. Feels like every week we're playing a top 10 defense right now, which is accurate. We are. Houston's really good on the defensive side, and they have been now for a year and a half, and they're sort of the engine of that team, and they got really good players over there, so we got the work cut out for us.
There were some young players that showed up on multiple occasions against the Vikings. Is that one of the brightest parts of that game against the Vikings?
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that keeps me why I believe so much in the growth that's occurring, even though we don't have wins to tangibly show for it. But we got a lot of players that have really done some nice things and are really getting better every time we go out there, between Jarvis Brownlee and J.C. Latham and Skoronski and even you look at Bryce Oliver steps in the last 2 weeks, has made some catches, and he caught that route and he hadn't repped it at all during the week because that was sort of Calvin's spot. It was third down, and Bryce hadn't played a lot on third down yet, and goes in and makes a great grab and a big first down. So there's a lot of really good things happening in the development of our young players, in their performances kind of week by week, and certainly would like to see more of it faster in some regards, but I'm really happy with where some of those guys are and how much they've come along.
For more of our conversation with Brian Callahan, we invite you to enjoy the OTP. You can watch the OTP on the Titans YouTube channel or at TennesseeTitans.com. Don't forget to subscribe to the OTP wherever you get your podcasts. There is only one official Titans podcast, better known as the OTP. Stay tuned. More Titans All Access right after this. The Tennessee Titans hosted their Salute to Service game last Sunday at Nissan Stadium. November is the NFL's Salute to Service month, so each of the 32 clubs designates one home game where our nation's military is honored. But in the days leading up to this past Sunday, the Titans were part of two special events.
The Tennessee Titans organization welcomed hundreds of soldiers from Fort Campbell to Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park for some big-time competition. Soldiers competed in a flag football tournament known as the Tito's Military Bowl. The 531st might have captured the championship, but everyone had a great time.
Today we have 6 different battalions from Fort Campbell here at our facility to compete in a little flag football. It's part of our year-round military appreciation. This just happens to be Salute to Service weeks.
You know, we got soldiers out here, and that's what it's about, right? Give them an opportunity and, incentivize them of being in this environment. But, soldiers work hard every single day to be able to protect and defend our country. So this is a great opportunity just to get out, and we got athletes, and so a good opportunity for them to show their athleticism in the Tennessee Titans, practice facility.
To honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country, the Tennessee Titans invited 2 families from the Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors, known as TAPS, to a special weekend honoring their fallen heroes. Chief Warrant Officer 3, David Stanley, and Chief Warrant Officer 2, Natalie Wamsley. Select Titans players wore their initials on their helmets during the game with the Vikings. The families attended Saturday's walkthrough practice and were recognized during the Salute to Service game.
The team has invited 2 of our families in today to get a tour of the facility, to watch practice. Players on the team have volunteered to represent their loved ones at the game, so they'll be wearing their initials on their helmets at the Salute to Service game.
Please welcome the families of TAP's fallen heroes, Chief Warrant Officers David Stanley and Natalie Wamsley.
Later in Titans All Access, Amy Wells sits down with Pro Bowl defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons. But up next, we go beneath the surface with Coach Mack in the Titans radio booth. You'll want to stick around for that.
It's time for the Hughes and Coleman Decision of the Week. The Titans' decision to let it rip with Will Levis out of the end zone seemed gutsy, but it paid off big in the third quarter of last Sunday's game.
Levis from his end zone, firing deep downfield for Westbrook. Akine, he's got it! 40, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, end zone! Touchdown, Titans! The longest touchdown pass of the year in the National Football League just went 98 yards!
Not only was this the longest play of the 2024 NFL season, but it also tied a record for the longest pass play in franchise history, a record that's 62 years old. That's the decision of the week, presented by Hughes and Coleman, official injury lawyers of the Tennessee Titans.
That play was an all-timer for sure. The good news for the Titans is that there were more from last Sunday's game. And who breaks them down better than Dave McGinnis? Coach Mack joins Mike Keith in the Titans radio booth to go beneath the surface, powered by Microsoft Surface.
Here's Darnold from the 1, left hash. Darnold looks right, throws the fade for Jefferson. Juggle, can't catch it. Great defense again by Baker to get it out of there.
Great job by Baker. That was in Jefferson's hands up top at the point of catch. Got it out. That's a great fight by the DB.
8 guys along the line of scrimmage. 6 of them come. Levis fires. One for Oliver. He's got it. Oliver at the 30. Oliver at the 25. And Bryce Oliver's 3rd catch of his young career sends him down to the 21-yard line. What a throw, Levis. What an adjustment from the rookie from Youngstown State, Bryce Oliver, who beat Jack Griffin to the inside.
Well, that was just a flick of the arm, and he was getting hit when he threw it. Again, you talk about elite arm strength. This guy has that.
Darnold, under pressure, steps up, in trouble, sacked, lost the ball, it's rolling free, it's been covered by Murray. Is it a fumble? Tell me something.
Great, you talk about answering a moment. They answered 2 moments in this drive right here. Now we have to have an offensive answer for a touchdown.
Levis with pressure coming. Fires right side, got it complete to Boyd, and Boyd makes a nice move. Boyd to the 25, to the 30, to the 35, to the 40, to the 45, and Boyd's down at the 49-yard line. Gain of 30. Tyler Boyd's first catch in 4 weeks. He's tackled by Pace and Murphy. Big play.
But that's a veteran move too over there, Mike, on that stop route. Veteran move on the stop route. Fakes 2 of them out and then gained big yardage.
30 yards for the player who turned 30 on Friday, Tyler Boyd.
When Titans All Access continues, Jeffrey Simmons joins me for this week's Nissan Insider. Stay tuned for Big Jeff. Welcome back to the BetMGM studio. Whenever I get a chance to interview Jeffrey Simmons, I always struggle with where to start. There's so many things to discuss with Big Jeff that the starting point is the toughest decision. But when he rolled in for our most recent Nissan Insider, I have a good word to get us started. And that word is change. This is your 6th season, but it's your very first time going through a coaching change. Looking back on it now that you've gone through a big chunk of the season, did you realize how big of a change it was going to be having a whole new coach and a whole new staff?
Not at all. Like I said, for me coming in, I'm like, okay, let's see how this goes. You know, everyone was like, how's the new coach? I was like, I don't know. I haven't been on the practice field with him. You know, I met with him, but it's like until I got on the field, that's when I'm like, okay, now I get it. Now it's this what they expect. And, you know, so far it's been real good to get coached by, you know, Coach Callys, chopping them up with him today on the field, and then Coach Rock has been real amazing just to, you know, get his side of the way he sees things. And like I said, everything different, but it's all football. And I think that's the great thing that you appreciate the most. You know, all coaches coaching different, but it's really the same material that they're trying to get across. So, you know, it's been real good for the new coaches.
You also had a lot of guys change over in the locker room. So you've got new coaches, which is something you've never experienced as a professional. You've got a lot of new faces in the locker room. And then we go into training camp and everybody's looking to you to be the leader of this team. That's a lot of pressure to put on somebody, even someone who's an experienced vet who's had a lot of success in the NFL. Did you feel that in like July and August and September?
To be honest, no. Pressure is a privilege. When I'm expected of so much, especially as a leader in the locker room, on the field, you know, it's like I expect this. So it's like I'm not thinking like, man, if something go wrong, oh, Jeffrey, you got to fix this. It's like we had an incident in practice where offense and defense, we going at each other. It's like, this is what we expect. We want their competition level high. Just like as we facing right now, the adversity that we were facing throughout the season, the pressure didn't get to me. It was more like how much better I can be in the locker room and on the field. And then your guys trust you in the locker room and they respect you. You know, they make your job easier, especially as a leader, because you can lean on all the other leaders in the locker room as well. So
it does bring in a lot of new competition as well. So all of a sudden you're seeing different faces, you're seeing different styles of play, you're hearing new ways of doing things with a different coaching staff. Does that make you a better player having gone through this experience now?
Well, most definitely. I think when you take all that away, it's football. When things get tough, when all the coaching stop, you fall back on basically two things: your fundamental technique, especially playing my position. It's like use your hands and pad level. You know, when you're getting double teamed, you got to make sure your pad level down. Your first step. Like I said, it's just them type of things that I, have watched over my 6 years in the league. I go back and watch films like, this is what I could have done better on this play or whatever it may be. And like I said, every time I just get back to, it's not what they doing, it's my technique or my fundamentals.
When you go into some of these matchups, is a big motivator for you personally? I want people to say my name just as much as they say whoever's name.
I'm not gonna say I don't think about things like that, but at the same time, if I could do my job at a high level each and every play, if Jeffrey Simmons can hold a double team and Kenyon can run through and make a tackle for loss, I'm proud of that. And a lot of things that you see, and especially playing my position, we don't get notified because we're not showing up on the stat sheet. But I want to be in them conversation with them guys that, playing at a high and elite level, and that's the reason why I kind of play the way I play. So. In
your time in the league, since the first day I met you, the thing you talked about was wanting to play for a team, being a part of this organization, and give back in the community. And we've seen you do more and more and more as your career has continued to grow. Tell me about the Give 'Em a Reason Foundation. What have you guys been working on? What have you been doing most recently?
I went to the Nashville Rescue Mission, and I was able to just go over there. And like I told them over there, it's like when you go into them type of environments and you see all these homeless people coming in just for a meal, it make you appreciate what you do so much more. I got a big thing that I've been planning with my marketing team and PR team that, we partnering with this group here in Nashville where, we're gonna go to the stadium, we're gonna do something with the kids, and around Thanksgiving, of course, all the kids are gonna be able to take, turkey home and the sides. I partner with Hattie Bees, and they're gonna help me with that, and then they're also gonna take a pair of shoes on every kid. So me personally as a kid, I didn't have that. And just being able to be in the community and just being able to, as a kid, being around and hanging out with professional athletes that they look up to, I think it'll be amazing. So I'm excited about that one.
Hey Titans fans, I'm Kellen DeCourcy, Project Executive with the Tennessee Titans, and we're here to talk to you today about the latest developments on the construction of the new Nissan Stadium. Here we are on the elevated deck of the stadium. This is actually the mezzanine level that's right above the field level. It all starts right here with this formwork. As you can see, that forms the bottom of the elevated slab. Anywhere from about 200, 300 of these concrete forming crews that are on the site every day. There's 2 crews moving clockwise and then another 2 crews moving counterclockwise, and will ultimately meet over here in the southeast corner of the stadium. There's almost 2 million square feet of this elevated slab. All of this work started in May of this year and ultimately is going to go through the end of this year and into January, which will ultimately open up and make way for the steel superstructure that tops out on the 300 level and then ultimately forms the roof.
Mike, the more that I hear about it and see it, the more excited I am about the new Nissan Stadium.
Yeah, same here. It is going to be incredible.
Are you ready to go to Houston?
I am. Let's go.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any keys?
I do. I have keys to the game. Let's turn to this camera. Key number 1, keep going with the plays in the passing game. What I mean is 98-yard touchdowns are great, yes, but they occur only once every 62 years. So we'll take all the 15-yard completions, the 20-yarders, the 30-yarders, 40-plus touchdowns, all of those that the Titans have gotten in the last 2 games. solid gains in the passing game have been showing up more and more. The Titans need more of those Sunday in Houston. Key number 2, finish the job on the quarterback. Jeffrey Simmons had 6 quarterback pressures against Minnesota, T'Vondre Sweat 5, Arden Key 4. Coach Brian Callahan said the key to turning pressures into sacks is staying in rushing lanes. Keep collapsing the pocket and don't let the passer, C.J. Stroud, escape. Do that with last week's pressure and the sacks will come Sunday in Houston. And key number 3, get big plays up and down the roster, especially from young players. The Titans are having more and more players show up in the box score. Jarvis Brownlee and Darrell Baker in the secondary, T'Vondre Sweat in the defensive line, Bryce Oliver and Jaquan Jackson at receiver and on special teams. As the roster expands with guys who now have experience and confidence to make a play, those youngsters need to keep showing up. Their contributions can be the difference in pulling out a road win on Sunday.
You know, Mike, I'm starting to think you write those in advance.
No. I just wanted to turn a different way and give it a different look.
Well, that's good. Are you ready to go to Texas?
Let's do it.
All right,
Titans radio airtime this Sunday in Houston is 11 a.m. That was a complete ad lib. Kickoff set for 12:02 Central. Titans and Texans, NRG Stadium this Sunday on Titans radio. For Amy Wells, which it says on the teleprompter, I'm Mike Keith. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Sorry I gave away your secret.
You did.
I'm sorry.